How's it going, everybody? My name is Bo, and I'm a home theater and movie enthusiast. In today's video, I want to tell you about what I feel was the best decision I made for my home theater, and it was about a year ago. But before that, I want to take you back to 2020 because I want to go over some of the bigger decisions I've made in the last 3 years. So here's a shot of my room back in January 2020. Had an 82-inch screen, had my tower speakers. I had, for the front reflection point, I just had some cheap 2-inch foam and no other treatment around the room. As you can see, the sidewall is completely bare. Um, and it was a very budget room, I will say. I think I had about 5 grand into the room at that point. So from that point forward, and here's a shot of panning shot of my room now for those that may have stumbled across this video and haven't seen my room before. So in the last 3 years, I made a lot of improvements, a lot of changes, and made a lot of decisions. I have another decision coming up. I might go from my scope screen back to a 16 by 9, but it'll be the same width as my scope, but just add some height. But I don't want to do that unless I can get a screen that comes with or has the option for quickly removable and an installation of masking panels to get it back to a scope ratio for most of the content I watch, but add the extra height. That's a decision I'm thinking about right now, and it's kind of weighing on me. But I have been thinking about what are some of the big decisions I've made. What are the best decisions? So I'm just going to run down some of the decisions that I've made leading to changes and improvements to my room in the last 3 years. So first thing was making DIY acoustic panels and treating more of the room, which had a nice improvement. Led me to deciding on going to a new receiver. So I bought the Yamaha A3080 Dolby Atmos receiver, added 2 front height channels, and was pretty excited about how things were sounding. Then I went from an 82-inch screen to a 92, which in hindsight I should have went bigger. So that was not the best decision. Going to the 82 in the first place was a bad decision back in 2016, but this video is not about bad decisions. It's about the best decisions I've made. So then I decided I needed to improve my bass, and one thing I needed to do was watch videos on how to set up subwoofers properly, because I was kind of arrogant about that. I thought I knew what I was doing, and I had it set up completely wrong. Then I realized the subwoofer I had was Eclipse. It wasn't very good, so I upgraded to an SVS, and now my room was sounding great. I was happy with the 92-inch screen. It was a nice improvement, higher gain, so it really improved the image. So then I decided to do new carpet and new seating. So here's a look at the old couch and then a look at the new couch. And this isn't the best decision I made, but I want to say it's second best, because honestly, my old couch, it had the back stuck out really far, and I was slouching, and my back would get sore after about 30 minutes. I couldn't even watch a whole movie sitting up. I had to lay on my side because I was so uncomfortable. So that's because I had an uncomfortable couch. I did the upgrade to this seating I'm in now. I was thinking looks was important, but I didn't realize how uncomfortable the old couch was and how much of an improvement having a comfortable seating was until I experienced it. Because now I can sit here on a Saturday. I've watched 3 movies in a row without any discomfort. So second best decision I made was getting a comfortable, technically it's a couch still, it's not home theater seating, but I really like it. So after that, about a year later, I decided to redo the room from a paint and design standpoint. So I repainted the room. I did vertical columns, and that was a nice improvement. The next big decision I made was redoing my front wall, getting rid of my tower speakers, getting rid of my big center channel, and doing in walls, and then a big acoustically transparent scope screen. Here's a before and after. That was a huge improvement. I would probably put that third on my list of best decisions I made for movie and immersion. It really just took the home theater to the next level. It went from yeah, this is nice to holy crap, like this feels like I'm in a theater. This feels like I'm watching a movie, no doubt about it. So that was a big one. I needed to add subwoofers though, because losing my tower speakers took a lot of the bass out of the room. So a decision I had to make, which I'm happy with now, but it was an expensive decision, but it was worth it in the long run. And then most recently, I decided to upgrade from a 1080p Sony projector to a 4K JVC, and that was also a huge improvement. Putting doors on the rear of my room in general, I had just a curtain before. That was a really nice improvement, good decision. And then one of the last or most recent decisions I made was lowering the noise floor in my room, which involved redoing some duct work, installing a air diffusion vent in the ceiling that was way quieter, and just overall made the room quieter, so no more distractions from the AC kicking on or the heater, furnace kicking on, which made the room quieter, which made the projector fan noise stand out a little bit more. So I slid that back on the shelf further into the other room, put a front piece on to kind of block off the exhaust vents. I rerouted those back into the room, and just overall made the room quieter, which during quiet scenes in movies, I was finding that I wasn't getting pulled out of it because I could hear the AC on or the fan from the projector, which was actually a pretty significant improvement. And I'd probably put it fourth on my list of best decisions I made. So let's recap. Number 2 was getting a more comfortable seating, which made it so I could watch a whole movie comfortably and multiple movies in a day. Number 3 would be going to the bigger, more immersive screen, which drew me into movies and was just a significant improvement to the movie watching experience. And then number 4 was making the room quieter, which I'm getting distracted way less, and I don't get pulled out of the movie when my AC kicks on. So those were 3 really good decisions. Number 1, and I'm being dead serious with this. Maybe some people will relate, but I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of people that can't relate. But the best decision I made for my room was I stopped worrying about if a movie had a highly rated Atmos mix or got a really high score for video, HDR, 4K, whatever. I just stopped worrying about that stuff, and I just said, screw it. I'm just going to watch movies. I don't care if it's a 5.1 mix, 7.1, 2.0. I don't care if it's an old movie. I don't care if it's got restored, remastered in 4K, and scanned the negative and restored the film. I'm just going to watch the movies I want to watch, and I've just been having a blast. And in the last 4 months or so, I've watched over 80 movies since I got my JVC. I've watched over 80 movies and have just been loving it, and it's just made enjoying my theater room that much better. So a little backstory, why it is the best decision, because I got kind of stuck down this path of worrying about if a movie had an Atmos mix or not, because when I got my Yamaha back in 2020, I didn't own a lot of movies with Atmos mixes. So I got on Blu-ray.com. I went to reviews based on audio and highest rated to lowest rated, and I started picking out movies based on a score system for the audio, and then I started doing that for video, and I went down this path for about 2 years where if the movie wasn't in Atmos, more than likely I wasn't going to watch it. And it sounds stupid, but at the same time, I was trying to get the most out of my audio after doing all the room treatments and stuff. But it was sometime after I got my scope screen where I was so impressed by just everything I watched that I just, I was like, you know what? I want to watch Serenity. I recently rewatched Firefly, and I was like, I want to watch the movie. This is one of the first Blu-rays ever made. It also has the HD DVD version, which I own, but it's a 5.1 mix. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to watch it. And I was just like blown away by how good it sounded, even in the 5.1 mix. And I just said, screw it. I'm not going to worry about if it has an Atmos mix anymore. I'm not going to worry about if it's a dynamic mix versus a static mix. I still watch Shane Lee's reviews of his 4K movies, and it's nice to know that stuff, but it really doesn't matter. If a movie's good, it doesn't matter if it's got great sound or if it's a 2-channel stereo or if it's fully dynamic Atmos mix. And some people might be think, what? I never cared about that. Well, good for you. I wish I hadn't wasted 2 years worrying about that stuff, but I did. And now that I've given up on that and just let it go, it's been such a better experience, and I've found I'm using my room a lot more. And yeah, it was just the best decision I ever made. It's like total freedom. It's kind of like back when I stopped worrying about Rotten Tomatoes after Man of Steel. I think that was the last movie I worried about the Rotten Tomato score before I watched a movie. I let that go, and it's just like it's been blissful movie watching since then. Yeah, I watch some movies that suck. A lot of the times, the most highly regarded movies, I'm like, I didn't really like that. I didn't really care for that. And I don't even look at the Rotten Tomato score anymore, and I don't even care. And it's such freedom. And the same thing has happened for me in my room with not worrying about if a movie has a good audio and video rating. So just some movies I've watched in the past 4 months: Crocodile Dundee 1 and 2, Beverly Hills Cop, some movies from my childhood that I love. One of the better movies, in my opinion, of all time, 5.1 mix. I've enjoyed these movies as much, if not more, than some of the movies with the demo-worthy Atmos mixes. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think. Did you ever go get in that same mindset I got, where you're just like, oh, I want to watch Atmos only, or I need to watch 4K version only, and have you let it go? If not, I would highly recommend it. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like if you like the video, and we'll see you next time.